like, this is our experience. We are here to save those people who are coming to Africa. Maybe they may face this. Maybe someone who's going to listen to this video will know what to do after listening to us.
So let's first tell you the story of how we got scammed. I've rented various apartments since I've been here, and in the interest of saving some money and having a more long-term view of being here, I wanted to go from a furnished apartment to an unfurnished apartment. It's a lot cheaper to have an unfurnished apartment here, probably 2/3 cheaper. So if you want to rent a place, you can look online. Often the more high-end listings are online, but if you want something a bit more affordable, it's more of a word-of-mouth thing. You need to find someone like a broker.
For example, there is a house, but to reach to the landlord, you have to call those guys. They always put their number. They don't put a landlord's number. So if you call them, then you connect to that broker.
And we found a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel was showing different apartments.
It was showing all the prices, and they were showing, like, they had pictures whereby they can show you how big it is, how nice it is, everything. It was there.
So we called the number, we arranged to meet. He takes us to an apartment. The apartment is still under construction, but it's very close to being finished. He seems to be friends with everybody.
But man, it was very nice. It was very nice, and it was very big. It had 2 bedrooms.
Yep.
Remember? And in a sitting room, it was like, I don't know even how to measure that, but it was very, very nice for the price he told us.
First red flag, it was very nice for a good price. After we finished viewing that apartment, he took us to another apartment. As soon as we got to that apartment, he got on his phone and he said, this apartment is taken. There was a little bit of a discussion saying, well, why did you bring us to this apartment?
This is what I hate about blockers. You tell them that I have 500 and I want a house for 500. What they do is they take you to the house of 800. They tell you, there's this and this. After you spending all of the money you have, for transport. Remember, you have to give them money for transport. You have to get money for yourself and for them. You understand? You end up the whole day spending. It's very, very annoying.
Yeah, so the process is quite frustrating. So imagine you meet a broker in some place. Then he says, I'm going to take you to the first apartment. That means that you have to pay for his transport fee to go to the apartment with him. Then you have to pay for your transport fee to go to that apartment, right?
And before him taking you to the apartment, he tells you, inspection fee.
They don't usually ask at the beginning for an inspection fee. What they do is they take you to a few places, and then they kind of say, so where's my inspection fee? When you're halfway through the process. And also, if you go to one apartment and you say, no, this is not what I'm looking for, they always have another apartment. Say, I've got somewhere, this one you're going to like. And then you go to that one and it's not the kind of apartment you want. Then they say, no, okay, now I understand. This is the last time I'm going to take you somewhere you're really going to like. And then you go somewhere else. And you feel like, should I go again? Each time you go, there's a fee.
There even time you got tired and be like, I'm tired of this. But it was me even to convince you to say, no, babe, let's keep going. Let's go and see.
I just wanted to get it done with as quick as possible, with as least fuss as possible. So that's another issue, is time and fatigue. So they can play on that. This means that you want to close the deal, right? So then you may start making mistakes in your transactions. We were under the impression it was 500,000 shillings a month. He now called the owner, and the owner said it was 650. We said, look, we're not going to pay 650k. We're going to pay 500, or we'll find somewhere else.
But first of all, on his agreement, there was 500. So after him taking us there and saying this one is taken, so the only option is the other one, he was like, at 600,
Yeah, so he's messing about with the price. So as we were going to leave, he called us back and he said, the landlord said, he'll match your price. You talk to him. So what did he say to you?
The owner told me, hi, my daughter, how are you? I was like, I'm fine. I don't know, he was too nice. Trust me, he was too nice, and he had this way of talking. He sounded responsible, And he said by the he's working at Case Clinic.
Yeah, so he was acting like he was a doctor at a very prestigious hospital.
Was like, okay, my daughter, how much do you have? Then I told him I have 500, and he said, 500? Can you add on? I told him I'm sorry, that's all I have. If it's not 500, I'm sorry, I'm not getting that deal. We're not getting that deal. And then he said, okay. Then I'm going to send you everything. Like, I'm going to send you the requirements, how you're going to pay, the rules of the house, everything. So I was like, okay.
If you pay with mobile money, what happens is that there's a direct link to the person owning the phone. We offered to pay with mobile money. He said no mobile money. You wouldn't think anything bad of that because you're paying to his bank account. The bank account was, obviously you can go and say this person is the person I paid. You would think that, you know, if someone was doing something fraudulent, they would ask to be paid in cash. So what happens is we go over to the bank, we put a deposit and 3 months of rent. He's communicating with us, says thank you, yes.
And now those days we were always talking to him. He could even call me in the morning. Yeah, hi, Assalamu alaikum, my daughter, how are you? How far the house? Even that day I sent him money. He was like, oh wow, saying I've seen the money, thank you so much, you know. Just know it was too real. Like, in fact, he even gave us an appointment. Yeah, I remember that day.
So we went back to the apartment to meet him. The gate was open for us. And we said, you know, where's the owner? And the first time we got suspicious was the man at the door said, the owner's not in the country. And so we were like, no, that can't be right. You know, we just spoken to him. We said, no, like, the owner's not here. Who's the broker?
The truth is, I couldn't believe it that time when the guy told me that the owner is out of the country, and I was talking to him in the morning because he's the one who gave me an appointment. He gave us an appointment to go there.
So I, at that point, was like, okay, the apartment was nicer than the price and the owner is not anywhere to be found. I'd said in my mind, I think this money's lost.
Trust me, I couldn't accept it that time. I was speaking with a guy that very day.
We checked the YouTube channel of the broker. The YouTube channel was gone.
At first, I called the blocker. The blocker wasn't answering. I even called the landlord. Then the landlord's phone was on. Then after some minutes, then I called again the blocker and it was off.
Now the deception was complete. We basically understood that the guy that brought us was nothing to do with the apartment. I'm sure everybody at the apartment knew what was happening. I'm sure everyone was in on it. And then we get to the point, what can we do about it? Should we go to the police? The thing about going to the police is they're also going to want money. How long is a piece of string? You bribe one guy, you bribe another guy, you keep going. I'm so busy with the business, I just made a calculation that it might take several days to catch them and then still probably not get the money. Rather than go through all of that, dealing with the police, having to bribe, I just said, I'll let it go. It means that now, every time we interact with any kind of broker, we're a lot more prepared. We ask for certain details. We ask for identification, just like they ask for our identification. I mean, it wasn't like an amazing deal, but it was like very nice for the price.
What pissed me off that day is, we paid for transport and we gave him money for broadcaster.
I like to concentrate on what we could have done better rather than blaming the scammers so much. The key takeaways are, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And I know that is something that you hear all of the time when people say about getting scammed. I think we were too quick. It doesn't matter what shape or form they come in. If they're friendly, if they're kind, if they're helpful, you still have to make sure that you do your diligence and don't let these people fool you with kindness, right? So what you need is to meet them in person. You need to take pictures with them. You need to get their ID. You can use an agency. There's agencies that have that you can check their business credentials, like a limited company.
Maybe if those days we asked maybe a neighbor or someone.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
You can talk to neighbors. You can talk to people in the community.
Yeah. And I want to tell you guys, not all blockers are bad. Some blockers are good, because even the blockers who got us the house where we are staying right now, they wasn't bad. Though this is the only person we found who scammed us or something like that.
Like, brokers are hard work. A lot of them are fine. Not all brokers are bad. So I agree with that. So If you liked this video and you want to see more, I'm sure you will also like the next video coming up right here.